Welcome. We are initiating ourselves in the format features of Vedic systems. Today, in this concluding session on the aspect, our focus is to remain upon Sakal Rigveda Samhita. It is the source scripture. As the traditions go, the entire range of values of Vedic systems, Vedic knowledge, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies are lively in this Samhita. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to the values, features and formats of Vedic systems, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic knowledge and Vedic technologies shall revisit the organization of Sakal Rigveda Samhita. We know that Vedic scriptures have twofold flow, firstly as a knowledge and secondly as organization of knowledge. Knowledge and organization of knowledge run parallel to each other. Therefore, the Vedic scripture is to be approached for its knowledge. But for its knowledge, we have to be parallel to the organization of a knowledge. The organization of knowledge is lively in the organization of the scripture itself. Therefore, the knowledge of Sakal Rigveda Samhita and as such of Vedic systems, Vedic knowledge, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies is going to be living in the organization of Rigveda Samhita itself. Organization of Rigveda Samhita is of the features as mandals. There are 10 mandals, astaks, there are 8 astaks, adhyayas, there are 64 adhyayas, anuvaks, there are 85 anuvaks, sukts, there are 1028 sukts, vargas, there are 2024 vargas, richas, there are 10,552 richas, and aksharas, which are 4,32,000, of which 34,775 are unmanifest. By unmanifest we means that these are not written but are lively as the format. The format of Sakal Rigveda Samhita means the foundation upon which this organization is laid. The superstructure of the organization of Sakal Rigveda Samhita is upon the foundation which is of 34,735 values. It is this values range which is to be glimpsed and which is to be reached, to be face to face with, to be parallel to the Vedic systems. Vedic systems, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies as such are founded upon the foundation which is of value 34,735. Therefore, out of the total range of value as of 4,32,000, the foundation is upon 34,735. This range of artifices is to be reached as a knowledge as 4,32,000 is the range of the knowledge. Attainability, complete attainment of the Vedic systems is of the range of 4,32,000. However, the foundation of it is of range 34,735. As such, the sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to acquire the bliss, to attain the insight and enlightenment of the Vedic systems, Vedic knowledge of the range of 4,32,000, they have to first be face to face with the foundation, which is of values range 34,735. It is this value of this range which we call it as unmanifest syllables, means unwritten letters of the text. These unwritten letters of the texts are on the values foundations of quadruple perfect numbers 6, 28, 496 and 8,128. These are the quadruple perfect numbers. The first perfect number 6 is having 3 as the prime, so biggest prime proper divisor of perfect number 6 is 3. The perfect number 28 accepts the biggest prime proper divisor be 7. The third perfect number 496 accepts 31 as the biggest prime proper divisor, and the fourth quadruple number 8,128 accepts 127 as the biggest prime factor. It is this feature that is to be comprehended well, to be imbibed fully for acquiring proper insight and for attaining appropriate enlightenment about the Vedic systems, Vedic knowledge, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies, by to be at the foundation of these foundation of these systems of knowledge as preserved and lively in Rig Veda Samhita, and ultimately the blissful gem of the Vedic knowledge. So Vedic knowledge foundation is of the range of 34,735 unmanifest syllables, unwritten syllables, unwritten aksharas of the Shakala Rig Veda Samhita. To be parallel to this foundation, we have to be parallel to the values of the quadruple perfect numbers, particularly the fourth perfect number. The fourth perfect number lays the foundation. It is this foundation upon which the entire superstructure of the Vedic systems is built. We see that this perfect number 6 with 3 as the proper biggest prime divisor, then it takes to 7, then we reach at 31 and ultimately reach at 127. For this appreciation of this range of perfect numbers, we have to see that the quadruple perfect number 6, 28, 496 and 8128 are leading to the quadruple primes. The first prime 3 is the biggest prime proper divisors of first perfect number. The second prime 7 is the biggest prime proper divisor of 28. Third prime 31 is the biggest prime divisor of perfect number 496, and 127, the fourth prime, is the biggest prime proper divisor of the fourth perfect number. These values 3, 7, 31, 27, when are taken as the space content values manifesting as domain folds of hypercube 3, the representative regular body of 3 space, hypercube 7, the representative regular body of 7 space, H31, the representative regular body of space 31, and 127 as hypercube 127, the representative regular body of the space 127. C. Hypercube 3 is accepting 7 geometries range parallel to which are 7 versions of hypercube 3, that is cube. Therefore, from value 3 to value H3, we are reaching at value 7. It is this reach from the first perfect number to the second perfect number which deserves to be comprehended and imbibed fully, as it is leading us to, it is laying the foundation for the transition and transformation and reach as a system from the first perfect number to the second perfect number. The reach from first perfect number 6 to second perfect number 28 is the foundation. It is the foundational reach. It is the foundation upon which the entire range of values of Vedic systems are approachable. We know 6 is the Surya Ank. It is the number of the sun. This number of the sun and the second perfect number 28 is the TCV value of formulation Brahma, the overlord of real force space. So it is from 6 sun to Brahma, the overlord, and we know the range of 29 points are having 28 gaps. So it is the Brahm stimulation. It is the eternity. Therefore, from Surya, sun to eternity is the attainment. It is the foundation. It is upon this foundation that the superstructure of Shakala, Rigveda, Samhita is built. The superstructure of Shakala, Rigveda, Samhita is upon the foundation which remains unmanifest, and this unmanifest is of the range of 34,735. Now this foundation, unmanifest foundation, is upon the format, features and values of the quadruple perfect numbers. Here we have reaching at this step that from these perfect numbers we reach at the quadruple primes. The biggest proper divisors, primes of these quadruple perfect numbers give us quadruple 3, 7, 31 and 127. From these values we reach at the parallel geometric formats of 3 space, 7 space, 31st space and 127 space. Now 3 space is having hypercube 3 as its representative regular body, that is cube, and it is of 7 versions. There are 7 geometries range of 3 space. It is this reach from value 3 to value 7 in the and along the format of the 7 versions of hypercube 7 as representative regular bodies of 7 geometries of 3 space. Therefore, from 3 space we are reaching at the geometries range of 3 space. This reach from 3 space to geometries range of 3 space is a step, is a feature, is a value which is manifesting the foundation of the Vedic systems. It is the foundation which provides us transition from the first perfect number to second perfect number. It is the foundation along which we have a chase from sun to eternity. Therefore, the eternity base of our solar universe, our existence phenomena, this reach from Surya, sun, to Brahm, eternity. So, the eternity format of our solar universe, the eternity format of our existence phenomenon is the foundation which is being laid with availing the transition from first perfect number to second perfect number. This transition from first perfect number to second perfect number is being reached at in terms of the biggest proper divisors as primes. 3 is the biggest prime proper divisor of 6. 7 is the biggest prime proper divisor of 28. 3 space is having 7 versions. There are 7 geometries range of 3 space. 7 versions of hypercube 3 make a set of 7 representative regular bodies of the 7 geometries range of 3 space. Therefore, a reach from value 3 to value 7 in terms of hypercube 3 is a reach from 3 space to 7 geometries range of 3 space. It is this transition, it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. So H7, from value 3 we are reached at value 7. So from value 3 we reached at H3, from H3 we reached at cube, and from cube we reached at 7 versions of a cube. Therefore then we reached at 7 geometries range. It is this 7 geometries range which will help us that the 4 space is playing the role of origin of 3 space. 3 space is a 4-fold manifestation layer. 4 space is playing the role of an origin. Therefore, the 7th version of a cube, which will be free of its all the 6 surface plates. So all the 6 surface plates stand stripped off. It is this space content, 3 space content lump is free from the dimensional limitations of the external frame. Therefore, the 4 space in the role of origin comes in its active participation. Therefore, the 7 versions with 4 space as an origin available for all the 7 versions gives us value 28. One shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be parallel to this range of features. 3 space is accepting 4 space as origin, and we know 6 space is having 4 space in the role of a origin. So a reach from 6 space with creative origin, 4 space as origin, a reach at 3 with 4 space as an origin of 3 space, an ultimate reach from value 3 to value 7, while it is a reach from first perfect number 6 to second perfect number 6. Therefore, it is going to be a blissful exercise that let us revisit values 6 and 28. From here, we shall reach at values 3 and value 7 as the proper biggest prime divisors, and we know that 3 space is having 7 versions range. We know 4 space is playing the role of an origin of a 3 space. Further, we also know that 4 space is playing the role of creative dimension of 6 space, and 7 into 4 also gives us value 28. One shall sit comfortably and one shall tabulate these features. With the tabulation of these features, one will be face to face with the transition from first perfect number to second perfect number. It is this transition from first perfect number to second perfect number which is going to be the foundation. The foundation, which is an unmanifest form, is availing and is parallel to the range of values and features of transition from first perfect number to second perfect number. So once we have reached from value 3 to 7, then we see that 7 space is going to lead us to value 15, as 15 geometry is range of a 7 space. One may have a pause here and see that 15 with its organization as 1 into 3 into 5 will take us from 3 space as dimension with a setup of 5 dimensions constituting a solid dimensional frame of 5 dimensions of a 5 space. It is here where we are seeing that value 3 when it has a reach at 7, it transits from 5. It is a Divya Ganga Pravaha. We know from the Bindu Sarovar there is a flow of 7 streams. Then this is a split into a pair of triple streams and the middle stream leading. It is this jump over 5, 9 to 7 and 3 to 1, jump over value 5. It is this unmanifest step which deserves to be comprehended well, and it is only in terms of it that we will be in a position to appreciate the transition from second perfect number to a third perfect number. One may further have a pause here and take note that cube, which is a representative regular body of a 3-space hypercube 3 as representative regular body of a 3-space. It is of 7 versions. And the other feature is that cube is a setup of 31 structures. See, there are 8 corner points, there are 12 edges, there are 6 surface plates, and then there is 1 volume, and there are 3 dimensions, and there is 1 origin. 1 plus 3, 4, 5, 11, and 20, 31. These 31 features, these are the features of the structural components of cube. Therefore, the reach from first perfect number to second perfect number in terms of a pair of values 3 and 7 as the biggest prime proper divisors of 6 and 28 lead to the structural setup of a cube of value 31, which is the biggest prime proper divisor of the third perfect number. One shall sit comfortably and be face to face with this chain, this range of the values and features constituting a format extending the transition from first perfect number to second perfect number, at next step from second perfect number to a third perfect number. Once we are having a reach from second perfect number to third perfect number, then we will see that this push, this sequence of sequence, this double sequencing, this infinite infinities will help us have a reach from the third perfect number to fourth perfect number. However, we shall have a pause here. See, value 31 is of the feature of a synthesis value of a pair of linear order transcendence ranges. It is this transition from value 7 to value 31 which is taking us to the synthesis value of the pair of transcendence ranges. It is this feature which is taking us from the value 15 as a value of a single transcendence range 1 to 5 value 15. When there are pair of such values, there are pair of transcendence ranges. Therefore, in fact, when we are reaching from cube to its 7 versions, then at the 7th version there is a strip of the entire surface plates, and therefore the 4 space transcends out. It is this 4 space transcending out which makes 7 into 4 in 28, and further 4 space is a spatial order space. 2 space is playing the role of dimension of a 4 space. Therefore, a reach from first perfect number to second perfect number is inherently leading us to a transition from the linear order to a spatial order. It is this feature of the transition format of the Vedic system which deserves to be comprehended well. This transition is a transition from the linear order setup of 3 space to spatial order setup of a 4 space. Therefore, to have a transition from first perfect number to third perfect number through second perfect number, we are being sequentially taking ourselves that the first perfect number takes us to 3 as the biggest proper prime divisor of 6. Then from 3 we reach at 3 space. From 3 space we reach at hypercube 3, the representative regular body of 3 space. From hypercube 3 we reach at 7 versions of hypercube 3. From hypercube 3 of 7 versions we reach at a range of the representative regular bodies of all these 7 geometries of 7 space. At the 7th geometry, when the cube is stripped off of its all these 6 surface plates, it is at this phase and stage that 4 space in the role of an origin gets transcendence. It is this reach from 3 space of a linear order to 4 space of a spatial order which will be taking us to a transition for a step ahead. One may have a pause here that 31 is the biggest proper prime divisor of 496. Further, the value 496 will help us appreciate that when it is put along a cyclic format from a linear format, then we see that to reach from 4 to 6 we have to multiply by 1.5, and from reach from 6 to 9 as well we have to multiply it by 1.5. That means it is going to be a transition from value 2 to value 3, because at the middle of it is going to be the factor 1.5. 2 into 1.5 will lead us to value 3. Further, we know that 2 as square and 3 as a cube. In this setup, when we have a split for a cube and a split for a square, we know that these quadruple squares will sequentially take us to value 9, second will lead us value 6, the third will lead us 6, the next will be value 4. It is this reach from 4 to 6 to 9 which will help us appreciate that the spatial order which was reached is taking us to a feature of a multiplier 1.5, which also is available in respect of the split of a cube into 8 subcubes. And we know the cube is having 7 components, then it leads to the second addition 18, then from 18 we reach at 12, and then the last from 12 we reach at 8, and the factor 1 and 2 is applied. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well to have an appreciation as to how the transition format, the foundation at unmanifest level, which is carrying and coordinating and making an arrangement for the foundation of the Vedic systems, lively at the organization format of Shakala, Rigved, Samhita, is availing all these features. From here we see that 31 will take us to value 63, and 63 will take us to value 127. As far from 7 we reached that value 15 in between to reach at 31. Here we are reaching at value 63 to have a reach at a value 127. Now see a step ahead. When we will be here, then we will be having 2255 as the versions and the geometry's range. It is this stage which deserves to be comprehended well, as that the reach up till value 8128 in a steps is going to be of the factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and 7 and 6. There are 13 factors. So first perfect number is having 3 proper divisors. Second perfect number is having 5 proper divisors. Third perfect number is having 9 proper divisors, and the fourth perfect number is having 13 proper divisors. It is this reach which deserves to be comprehended well, and we appreciate that when we are taking 2 powers of 2 as a spatial order functional, and when we are of 7 steps taking us to 13 factors. Now here the second spatial order will take us to value 255, and here we reach at value this up till this is going to be 32,640. It is this value of 32,640 which will help us ultimately appreciate as to how we can reach at the values of the foundations. For it, we have to go very carefully, step by step, so that we can ultimately reach at the value which is the value of our foundation. It is this value of the foundation which is having a reach for the fourth perfect number taking up to this. It is here where in fact is the foundation, the base of the foundation, 34,735. See the value, 34735. We have reached that value, 32,640. See the difference value. If we subtract, we see the value comes to be this is going to be 9, it is going to be 0, it is going to be 2. See this value. This value, we know that we are availing a spatial order. We are transiting from the linear order pair of transcendence ranges as value 31. We transit from here to value 42 as a value of a pair of transcendence ranges of spatial order which lead us to value 42. So value 42 is available to us as a value of the spatial order transition reach. So value remains 2, 4 and 5, 3. And it would be blissful to take note that 16 Ganita Sutras text of 283 letters is leading us to trans value 1095, and 13 Ganita Sutras of reach 236 is leading us to trans values 958, and the summation value comes to be 2053. A very blissful stage, a very, very blissful stage that the foundation of Vedic systems lively and being availed for the superstructure of Shakala Rigved Samhita is of values range 34,735. This values range is the values range which is provided to us by having a transition for the quadruple perfect numbers. This leads us a reach from value 31 to value 42, a reach from linear order to a spatial order. And once we have a reach here, then we have a reach at the Ganita Sutras and Upsutras. So Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are the foundational mathematics of the Vedic systems. Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are the basis-based foundational mathematical values of the Vedic systems. Therefore, with this feature, we have to proceed further to work it out for a proper glimpsing as to how this value 3632,30 reached that in these steps is taking us to value 32. It is a value 40. It is equal to 10 into 4. It is equal to a raised to power 5 into 10 b raised to power 4. These are the 10 mandals. It is from here that we will be getting this value. And this value 2 raised to power 5 will help us appreciate that if we put the value of a is equal to 2, that means when we are in a spatial order, then value 32, and further we know that if we have a range of values up till 6 for a 6 space working, then the frequency of a reach at value 6 by choices from this range of values is 32. Further we know that it is 4 into 8, it is 5 into 8. That means it is going to take us the rule one more than before. As 8 we know a kaha of TC value 8. So it is 4 and it is 5. It is this reach one more than before, which will help us as the working, processing rules, steps of the Ganita Sutras. With the first sutra, Ekadiken Purven, is working and applying, and it is coming to our play. Further, we know that the ultimate sequential reach, Kram Samapti, the end reach value of sequential logic, is that we should have from 1 to 2. That means within a surface we can have the interval as well as the surface. Therefore, surface within the surface, Vesti Samesti. It is this feature that when we are approaching a surface within a surface, and then when we are approaching from single axis setup to a pair of axis setup, then we will see that as a fact we are having a transcendence of linear order upon the spatial order, and it makes it value 3. It is this way that we will reaching hypercube 4 of the surface as surface within a surface, 2 into 2 synthesizing giving us value 4, and further this superimposition will make 5 space a solid order as origin. We know that within 4 space the 12 edged cube acquires additional, that is the 13th edge, as and along the format of the degree of freedom of motion, the 4th dimension of 4 space, as additional 13th edge for 12 edged cube, a representative regular body of a 3 space. Now it is this coordination, it is this reach for 13th edge cube to 5 space as an origin gives us value 13 into 5 is equal to 65. See this reach at value 65. It is this step from here. When reach ahead, we see we reach at value 65 is equal to 5 into 13, and further we know 6 space is the origin of a 5 space, and 13 is equal to 4, 5 and 4. 5 space as an origin coming out value 13, and 6 space coming out of 5 space value 16, and 65 into 16 is equal to 80. Now it is this 13 Ganita Sutras, and these are the 16 sutras. This is the feature of the basis foundational Vedic mathematics of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras, which is working and leading us to the proper strength, potentialities of the foundation of the Vedic systems being availed by Shakala, Rigved, Samhita. A step ahead, there are many features, and one of the features which deserves to be comprehended well is in terms of the first formulation, Eka Adhikain. This leads us, we have seen already, to value 284, which is one more than 283, and there are 283 letters of the text of Ganita Sutras. See further that the Kshetragya is the basic formulation. So the Kshetragya formulation is leading us to the trans value here up till this value is going to be 236, and this value takes us to value plus 45 is equal to 281, and this value we know when we have Eka Adhikain means one more than before, and further we know that Anurupain, the first Ganita Upsutra, parallelly we have to move, so two more than before, so the synthesis is of value 3, 6, 10, 15, and for the spatial order is 2, 4, 6, and so on. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended. The 281 as a dimension leads us to 283 as a domain. Further, we know the reach up till this stage of Kshetra of value 236 is parallel to the letters of Ganita Upsutras, and this reach value is equal to 283. The difference value is 47. It is this feature, and here the transition value for Tra is 15. And when we know that these values are comprehended well, when these are reached at, then we can go for the inner evidence of the organization of the text of the Shakala, Rigved, Samhita, and here we have to be face to face with the Pad Richas as well as the three Arch Richas. The three Arch Richas are 94, which makes it a pairing of 47, so half units are 47. All these features, all these values are simultaneously at work, or these are simultaneously available. It is this availability of these features which deserves to be comprehended well, as when we will be working as Sankhya Nishtha, we know that it will be leading to trans value 42, and then there is a trans through this formulation will reaching at value 127, and which is the biggest proper prime divisor of the fourth quadruple 8128. Let us sit comfortably. Let us permit our mind to the manifest text of 3,97,265 letters and 34,735 as unmanifest letters. Then when will we see that the Rig Samhita is of 10,552, out of which 80 are the Balkhilyas and remaining are this much. Then there are Nematic Dvipadas, and this takes us to value 70. These all features are simultaneously available, so we have to be slow, gentle, sequential, parallel to the foundational mathematics, basis-based mathematics, Vedic mathematics of the Ganita Sutras, to appreciate, to be parallel to have imbibing of the organization of the knowledge and for the pure values of a knowledge by going and approaching Vedas the Vedic way. The modern mathematics, the modern mind, the modern mathematics faculties as these are not face to face with the organization format features and values of the Vedic scriptures with Shakala, Rigved, Samhita, the source system, and that is why the modern mathematics is creating mental state which is having a blocks, not in a position to be parallel to the Vedic systems and the Vedic mathematics. All those sadhakas who are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel to the Vedic systems, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies shall approach the Vedic scriptures, the Vedic way. They shall approach Shakala, Rigved, Samhita at the foundational, unmanifest foundational format features being enlivened by the Ganita Sutras. Ganita Sutras is the basis Vedic mathematics of the values of the organization as well as the processing steps of Ganita Sutras and Up Sutras. Thank you very much.